itself is insane. It's swinging razor blade axes.
That block is off already.
If it was the biggest, strongest guy to win the 6 disciplines, I would probably win 95% of the time.
Quick to the wood is Jason Wentz.
Athleticism and precision and mental focus trump strength anytime.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of mental stress.
And you're just staring at that piece of wood in front of you. It's like, how am I going to dissect this the fastest, most efficient way?
16 competitors, 2 pools, and only 8 spots remaining to advance to the 2025 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS US Championships.
Just exceptional choppers. Very aggressive. Man, was he shifting timber. This is going to get real serious in a hurry. Go!
Hello, welcome one and all to this very special weekend, the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS US Championships for 2025. We got semifinal qualifying for the championship round coming up. Pool B is almost ready to get started right now. Let's bring out our fantastic host, legendary lumberjack sports athlete, celebrated worldwide. He's going to take us through all of it today. Let's hear it for Super Dave Jewett.
This is crazy. I'm going to be fully transparent. I'm out there talking to these athletes about to come out. I said, I don't know what to say because I'm still wound up from what happened yesterday in Pool A with world records breaking. Welcome, though, to STIHL TIMBERSPORTS, the 40th year of STIHL TIMBERSPORTS, and what a great place to celebrate Milwaukee's 45th year of one of the biggest German fests in the world. Thank you, Tommy. I am Super Dave Jewett, competed in STIHL TIMBERSPORTS for 25 years. I talked so much on the mic, they finally gave me the mic and a paycheck and just said, talk about it, Dave, we're tired of you. So I'm gonna be on the stage calling the show today. It's gonna be awesome. Pool C, Pool B coming up. Pool C after that, 8 o'clock will be the Women's National Championships. And if you're around tomorrow, 2 o'clock, the men's final round. Thank goodness I have some help. One of the best STIHL commentators in the world, bringing the energy, hitting the high notes. Dig Dave Johns.
Let's go, Milwaukee. Marathon day for STIHL TIMBERSPORTS here at German Fest. I am so pumped. Men's Pool B right now. C coming up at 4 o'clock, 4:30, and then 8 o'clock tonight. The women in prime time taking the stage. Dave, you got to be jacked up, buddy.
I just told him, I don't know what to say. I'm still coming down from the world record hot saw that was broke yesterday. And none of this would happen, Dave, without our sponsors, STIHL and John Deere. And of course, Kevin and Tommy up in the booth calling it to the live stream. Gentlemen.
Oh, thank you, Dave. And Kevin, we're looking at Pool B here. We're looking for 4 athletes to step it up today and make it to the final round. As you look at our full pool, 8 competitors, who are the ones to watch?
Well, you know, Tommy, I've worked very hard on this, and I've come up with one name in Pool B that I think could do well. Matt Koger. Matt Koger has won. I know. Hear me out, though. Matt Koger has won more national titles, has just been an absolute force to reckon with in this sport for a decade now. And, of course, we're all going to be watching him. So now it's, well, who's going to be coming at him? Walt Page, Walt Page, Walt Page. I am watching Walt. I've been watching Walt since his college years. You know, he's getting like me, though. He's got some gray in his beard. He's got a family at home, and it's bringing some maturity, and he is just absolutely crushing out there. Of course, we can't not talk about Cassidy Shear. He's got a championship title under his belt. He wants to add another one. An interesting rules twist this year. We'll see how it plays out for him. And, of course, Logan Scarborough, another one that joined us out of the college ranks, an absolute tough competitor. Took some time away from the sport, stepped back a couple years ago, and he has just been on a tear lately.
Lots of tough guys in Pool B, and we're ready for it. Dave, can you introduce us to the athletes?
All right, sounds like we're bringing out our first athletes. Dave, who do we have?
All right, coming on the stage first, hailing from Springville, New York. Let's hear it for Mark Boquin.
And from Polkton, North Carolina, Logan Scarborough.
From Pittsfield, New Hampshire, here. Give a big Milwaukee welcome to Billy Cornelius.
And all the way from Marquand, Missouri, big round of applause for Aaron Hovis.
Coming to you from Newville, Pennsylvania, let's hear it for Alex Storm.
And your local boy ranked the #1 single bucker in the world from Hayward, Wisconsin, Cassidy Shear.
From Toll House, California, let's hear it for Walt Page.
And your 7-time National Timber Sports champion from Grafton, West Virginia, looking for 8, Matt Koger.
And introducing our head judges, Chris Alba, Rich Hallett, and Jewel Jansen. One more big Milwaukee round of applause for all of our athletes.
All right, coming up is the Springboard. Check out the overview on the big screen.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
He is a fully matured athlete of 2 really tough competitors out here to get started with our very first of 4 heats.
Tommy, I want to bring it to your attention, too. I picked up on it right away, and I had a great conversation with him earlier today. Mark Boquin is probably about half the man he used to be if you look at him on this stage.
Amazing.
He has gone through an amazing transformation. Back to where he used to be, he said from his peak high weight to where he is now, it's about 100-pound difference. But he's staying lean, he's staying mean, he is running. I think this Springboard event is where it's going to pay off the most for him.
His last time in the finals to make the finals was 2023, wound up finishing 7th overall in the U.S. Men's Championship.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Our first swings of the axe and our first discipline here for Pool B. Logan Scarborough and Mark Boquin. I hesitated there for a little bit. I'm a little worried about Scarborough's first board. He's up on it, but you can see he's got his right foot right up in that pole, as does Mark Boquin. Neither one of these gentlemen trusting that first board set. I was about to say they're both solid springboard cutters, but struggles on this first board set. Gotta have this second. Oh, there you see both of their first boards failing. Logan Scarborough just barely getting off that first board before it comes crashing to the stage. And Mark Boquin ends up back on the stage, reworking pocket number 1. Boquin with a much better looking first board, just a tiny bit of upslope. That's what we like to see. Logan Scarborough's top board showing a little bit of sag. He's choked in. You see his oh wow, Boquin. Holy cow. Boquin somehow stays alive and gets his way up to that second board with his second attempt at the first board, also falling to the stage. This is a disastrous open for Springboard here, Pool B. Logan's got to get up higher with that. There he goes. He's creeping up higher. He's going to sever the near fibers, reach around to the far. He's about a minute 20 in. It'll be about a minute 30 second. Oh, no, got it off a full swing or two ahead of where I thought he'd be. Showing an unofficial time of 1:22. What a calamity start to this Pool B. These guys just staying with it, gutting it out. Mark Boquin just looking to grab as many steel points as he can at this point. He is going to end up near the bottom of the heat probably, unless we have some DQs or something this event. Way to just gut it out and stay with it. Holy cow.
Very important for him to get it in before the 2-minute limit there. You got the points.
Yes.
No matter what your position in the finish.
Both cuts are good.
We're going to get a word with Logan Scarborough over here, your current leader here in the Springboard.
Springboard mayhem right out of the gates. You know, we were looking at these pools, Pool A, B, and C. They're all tough pools. There's nowhere to hide this year. You have to go, and you hit that right on go. You hit that bottom pocket. The slab came out. Were you aware of that slab, and what do you do to correct it? Is that possible at that point?
Yeah, I think you can. You know, move over a little bit, 2 and 2, something like that, or 1 and 1. I chose not to. It's Steel Series, so I jumped on it, and it held enough.
Well, you knew enough to hug the pole to get your weight up towards the pole. That really is the best thing you can do. If you're back on that board, it could peel out.
Only option, yeah. The second pocket wasn't that great either. I had to really stay on the clip, but got through it.
Great job. 5 events to go. Logan Scarborough, always willing to give a great interview of what happened with 3 heats remaining.
Well, let's take a look at this ejection button right there from Logan Scarborough. Synchronized board failures. Logan manages to leap off his first board. As he does so, he puts too much, or not, the pocket couldn't handle the pressure and fails out. And then we're watching Logan Scarborough, his second board sagging down. And here it is. Look at this Herculean save. I was holding my breath here, hoping that axe didn't come out of that block for Mark Boquin. Wow. Here's the finish for Logan Scarborough. I think that first hit was a little too low. I don't think that was trying to draw a chip. I think he just was low on that thing. Got up where he needs to be and kept his slope, got the top of the block off, finished the cut. Neither one of those gentlemen are going to be happy with those times.
Yeah, look at that time. The personal best, though, for Logan Scarborough, 122.45.
That's stunning.
That's surprising. Very surprising.
That was a rough cut.
Yeah,
there's a
rough.
lot of room for that, and we're going to see some faster PBs from him very quickly.
Mark Boquin about 26 seconds behind that, but he makes it inside of the time limit, so that's very important. You got to score at least a point out of this one right here. Coming to you from the BMO Pavilion here. Part of German Fest here in Milwaukee. A very special weekend to begin with. They just opened the gates a little while ago for Saturday's enjoyment. A little bit of cloudy skies here, but pleasant temperatures. Perfect situation for our competition today, that is for sure. And a good crowd starting to come in here. Everybody's got to make their way to German Fest and grab some refreshments and head on in. We had our #1 cut in the Springboard first heat yesterday. If our #1 cut has happened today, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Yeah. If that was his best, we're going to see it. But I mean, that was just to have the fastest time of a pool happen in the first heat is just, that doesn't math.
No,
that doesn't work. That's not what's supposed to happen. All of these heats are heated. Our typically slowest times should be in the first few heats. We should see times drop as competitors move on into higher and higher seeds, and that just wasn't how it worked yesterday. Tristan Van Beek
and his
crushed it.
Aaron Hovis.
All right, on stand number 1 from Pittsfield, New Hampshire. 15 years actually competing for Billy Cornelius. Going up against Aaron Hovis, the axeman from Missouri. Three Rivers College there. Not too far from Poplar Bluff, where he learned his lumberjack skills.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, now that we got that first heat out of the way and got all the gremlins worked out, let's see how these two do. Aaron Hovis on the right, Billy Cornelius on the left. Cornelius going back. Oh, now he's just pecking in there. I don't like that. That makes a lot of what I call junk mail. A lot of little chips in the back of that hole. You go to set that springboard in, any one of those small chips ends up on top of that shoe. The edge, that little razor edge at the top of the shoe can't grab the top of the pocket. It just ejects it. Look at Aaron Hovis at the top board around 24 seconds and making good progress, except I don't see a chip releasing out of that block. There we go, we got our first chip out. I don't know if that axe is not liking the block. You see the axe kind of resting. He's got to wiggle it out. There it is on the up hit again, the up hit again. Billy Cornelius not pleased with his second board set, going back to make repairs. There is a shelf of wood on the top of that pocket, and that will just tear out of there. He's got to get that shelf cleared out. I don't like that. I still don't like the looks of that. Billy Cornelius is good enough for me. We'll see how it holds. Yeah, he's not confident in that pocket, and I don't like what I saw looking in there. This is the ultimate question when you're cutting these springboards. Do you spend the time to correct the pocket, or you just get up there and suffer through it? And as I aged in the sport, I realized you fix the dang pocket. Yeah. It just, you lose so much on every swing cutting on a bad board. Aaron Hovis, there he is, about 126 unofficial time. That block or that axe did not treat him well. He boarded very good to get there, but struggled opening that block up. Cornelius has got good flow, good pace, but again, he is not back on that board. He's not standing on the clip. He's not really choked up, but he is not back and as loose and as comfortable as you would be on a truly good board set. Billy into the backside of this. He is a slash-handed cutter. Probably going to have to draw a chip on this. There he goes. He's going to draw a chip out. That opens up, clears some space to get that axe in there. Works it near to far. You hear some of the other competitors calling way over, way over. They must have a lot of wood over on that far side. I'd like to see that near twist open a little bit. I don't think the near side, oh, there it is. It was on the far side. Tough go for Billy Cornelius. That's a lot of energy expended in your first discipline of a very long day of competition.
Aaron Hovis' time should. It's official, qualifying him for second place behind Logan Scarborough. Let's take another look at Hovis.
Both cuts are good.
This is his start.
Hovis, come on over here, buddy. Say it again. Say it again.
said, I'm on my way.
All right, we got you, buddy. Great for your textbook board sets. You saw what happened. So you have a little bit of an advantage in the preparation area. There's monitors back there. You saw what happened with Scarborough, with Bo Quinn. Did that adjust your game plan at all, making your pockets in these yellow poplar poles?
Yeah, seeing Logan's pole on that first hit where it slabbed, knowing that that pole is likely to do that to me too, I was able to adjust how hard I hit that first one. So try to avoid doing that to me. So.
Well, you hung in there up top. You could tell it was dry wood. Sometimes when that axe penetrates the wood, you hear that nice pop. It was more like hitting a 2x4 today. But you just have to keep breathing and keep a rhythm going.
Yep, just like a little engine that could, just keep chugging.
Well, go chug some water, my friend. You got 5 events remaining. There's your virtual leader. Let's not call it officially yet, but we're waiting on the times. And I'm thinking Aaron Hovis is taking the lead.
Here they are side by side, and there's Billy Cornelius deciding to descend back to his first board to make repairs to that second pocket. And I don't know if we'll have the same camera angle again, but you could look into that second pocket and you could see a shelf in the top of that pocket. There it is right there, that extra line in the top. That means that first hit went in, actually it was his second, and then maybe his fourth hit went in, and that shelf is just waiting to tear out of there. If that thing tears out, it ejects that chip and the board and Billy Cornelius with him. Aaron Hovis really struggled in the front side of this log. That axe did not like it. It seemed like a drier piece of pine. In the back, he is just putting in massive slashing blows, able to break some wood on the far side, which is where Billy Cornelius also struggled, could not get those far fibers to break.
Well, there's the official time for Aaron Hovis, a 1:26.13. Puts him about 3.5 seconds behind the leader, Logan Scarborough. Mark Boquin hanging in there in 4th place, and Billy Cornelius, really tough time of it out there with 2:19.44. This is 2 heats down in our very first discipline of the day. Springboard chopper going through 6 full disciplines before it's all decided. We're going to take our field of 8 down to 4, who will compete tomorrow for the U.S. Championship. Very, very important. Getting in the top 4 is everything here in Milwaukee. "40 years, unbelievable, celebrating the original extreme sport and taking it to the world. STIHL Timbersports has certainly gone global. We're looking for a U.S. champion, though, this special weekend here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Got a little low hanging clouds there, but no rain as yet. Not going to rain on us. We're under the roof here. We turn it back over to Dave Jewett for the heat number 3 of the Springboard.
Thanks, Tommy. Let's go right into heat number 3. This is Alex Storm versus Cassidy Shear. Cassidy Shear, lethal. Here at the BMO Arena. I've seen him cut this in 30
Well, there's your champion from 2019, U.S. men's individual champion here. Cassidy Shear earned that there. A great victory. Went on, did very well. I believe he's runner-up in the World Championships. Going up against Alexander Storm from Newville, Pennsylvania, Penn State. Chopper and Sawyer in his collegiate days. This will be his 4th attempt to make it from the pools to the finals.
Well, Tommy, we had 2 shifts, we'll call them, in the rules. One, somewhat more minor, is no nails to hold the springboard in place while the chopping's going on. So
you see them now.
Right, you see the springboard leaning against the pole. Competitors used to be allowed to drive a nail in on either side just to keep it from falling. That's
Athletes
not there
ready.
Anymore. Some people a little bit upset about that. We'll see how it plays out. No issues so far.
Go.
And as it was pointed out in the rules meeting, that's the way the rest of the world does it. So,
that's right. We're on a level playing field with
Cassidy Shear. Cassidy Shear saw that run from Aaron Hovis, and he is looking. Oh, there's Cassidy Shear's board, though. Look at it, just shift to the left. It is about to tip off that pole. Look at it, fell right to him. It was not where he thought it was going to be when he reached for it. But there you go. That's why they had the nails in there, was to prevent that board from wiggling while the competitor's chopping. Shear is up and into the block at the top, drawing big chips out of that log. Large face axe, tons of axe spanning. Wow, that axe just bounced back out at him, almost knocked him off the board. Alex Storm is up to his block at the top. Looks like he's pretty happy with that board set. You see he's way back out on it, swinging a much smaller axe than Cassidy Shear is. Cassidy's working his way all the way to the back of that log. Wants to get down to as little wood as possible. Once you get to that point, it's pinched out to a V. You got nothing else. Here we go, that famous windmill swing of Cassidy Shear in the back of that log. Cleans it off. Just over a minute, round 109-110 for his unofficial time. Alex Storm, there you see that smaller axe. He's actually going 3 hits across the face of that block. He started to build up a point in the middle of that chopping face. Wood that he wasn't cutting. His far hit was far enough. His near hit was nice and close, but he wound up with this kind of point sticking out of the middle of the cut where he wasn't getting that middle wood. Cassidy Shear just throwing a snow shovel into that block.
Both cuts are good.
Here we are again. You know, let's rewind 1 week up the championships up in Hayward. I believe it was your bottom pocket that gave way. Talk about what happened and how you correct that going into Milwaukee.
Yeah, I had a mistake that I slabbed out the tree and didn't even finish the event. I mean, I didn't really think about that. I've cut heaps of 40-second springboards. Just did the kind of cut to get through. That was the hardest log I've ever chopped up top at a steel event, but like, it's fine. I'm in first right now. I'll get at least 6 points. It's all good.
Yeah, and we talk about that backhanded swing. I asked you about it. You said, look, nobody really taught me how to chop a springboard when I was younger. I learned on my own. I developed this swing. It works, and it's working for you. I've never seen anyone else really attempt it, but I love watching that. It's so much power.
Yeah, it works. I mean, there are better ways to do it, but I'm too old and too stubborn to change my ways. So I'll take it.
All right, rest up. There you go, Cassidy Shear. That's our leader in the springboard. 108, Dave.
Well, here's that second pocket from Cassidy Shear. Great looking board set, and he bores it right back into the back. And that's where you can run into trouble, where you slab the board out. Watch that board slide over to him, though. We talked about that during the actual event. The top of that board, previous to this year, you would put one nail on either side of it to keep it from rattling or sliding or doing exactly that. That's probably the worst I've seen here this weekend. So if that's the worst that we have, maybe it will be okay.
Might be.
And like I mentioned, Cassidy Shear throwing a massive axe, gets into the backside of this just wieldy roundhouse, whatever you want to call it, swing. Nobody else is doing it like that. When you're turned around on the backside of the board, you're standing on the other side of the plate. You're hitting switch-handed. Everybody has their own way of dealing with it, but most of those ways fall into two camps: off-handed chopping or slashing. Option C, Cassidy Shear.
There you go, and it worked. He complained. He said that was the toughest piece of wood he'd ever cut up on top of the pole there, but didn't hinder him too much. His first place time now is 13, almost 14 seconds faster than Logan Scarborough, the leader coming into heat number 3, and we are all set to roll into heat number 4 momentarily here. Complete the springboard chop, see who gets the top points.
From Toll House, California, brought it back to the United States. And as soon as we get the go-ahead, we're going to bring them out. All right, let's bring him out. The man who holds the world record in 35 seconds. This is Walt Page. And his opponent on the right pole, from Grafton, West Virginia, your 7-time national champion, Matt Koger.
7-time champion Matt Coger going at it again, trying to win another one. 38 years old, and personal best of 38.78, but look at the personal best for his opponent, 35.43, the world record holder, Walt Page from California.
Yeah, when you've got a WR next to your PB, that's a good day.
Yeah, that was a good day.
I don't know, I go back historically, Tommy, you and I have watched many of these events. We've seen many cutters, we've seen the times fall, and every season we're like, wow, that's as fast as you could possibly do that. That'll stand forever. We'll never see that number go down. We said that at the 1 minute mark. We said that at the 50-second mark. We said that at the 40-second mark. Hot saw yesterday, Dave and I were talking about this leaving here, a 7-second hot saw run. Well, now we're down
Athletes
the fours.
ready.
We're in the low fours.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, this is going to be a barn burner, folks. World record holder Walt Page, stand number 1. Matt Coger, 7-time Steel Timbersports US champion on stand number 2. And these boys are going to put on a clinic for us. Slight advantage to Walt Page as he gets that axe set just ahead of Matt Coger. He's up. He'll be about a swing ahead. Matt Coger's got a bit of a listing board. I like the board set for Walt Page better, and he is into the block faster. Matt Coger, though, I know can cut this block maybe a little quicker. We're going to have a really tight race here. World record pace not going to be seen today as that time has now elapsed. Wood is a little bit firmer today. That is not a mystery. All the competitors know it. These guys are working their way as far as they can on their strong side. I think Matt Coger has done more work on the front side of this log. Walt Page is a switch-handed cutter, as is Coger, and it is Coger. That effort put in on the front of the log paid out in the back. When you're in that switch-handed position, you want to minimize the number of hits there. Matt Coger did the work in the front of that log, had it bored way in, minimal effort on the back. What a clinic.
That's the kind of race that people come to see out here. What competition. The 4th heat of the Springboard Chop.
Well, Tommy, I was talking how you and I have both watched a lot of these, and I love watching. I get excited when a heat like that. I don't know if you know, I vacated my chair for a little bit. We stood up to watch that one.
You levitated above it. It was amazing.
What a race between two stellar athletes.
Oh.
Both cuts are good.
Here comes Matt Coger. By the way, Matt, I had you to win that event. Dave said it was Walt Page. Now, you didn't hear that, did you? Move over here. Move over a little bit. Let's get us centered here. Awesome. I love the expression on your face. You're such a nice guy, on and off the stage. But when the gun went off, it's just this, I must win this event. And you have to be pumped up going against the world record, Walt Page.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. You got to give credit to Walt. He's a great axeman, great competitor. And holding the Springboard record, it's I kind of look up to him a bit, so I'll give him that.
Well, awesome show to put on, making those logs look soft in roughly 53 seconds. I'm going to let you go. I love talking to you on the stage. We'll be talking to this guy a few more times. There's your leader in steel points from Grafton, West Virginia, Matt Coger.
Well, here it is, side by side, great two-shot. Watching these two awesome athletes go head to head. It was advantage Walt Page in the climb. There you see him in the back. You can count the hits. He's going to be a solid 3 blows, I think, ahead of Matt Coger. But once Matt Coger got into the block, it may have been axe, it may have been technique a little bit. He definitely bored in a little further than Walt Page did. He had less work to do on that offhanded side. But again, sub 1 minute times in this firmer timber, exceptional cutting from two exceptional timber sports athletes.
I don't know if Matt Coger needs any more encouragement, but taken down the number 1, the record holder, the world record holder, Walt Page, with 53.01. 53.01. Matt Coger is your points leader after one event, one of our 6 disciplines here, the Steel Timbersports US Championships. We're going to do some sawing when we come back here, and of course we have 5 more disciplines before we decide the 4 who are going to go on to the national championships. Great crowd coming together here, really eating up this tremendous competition like the heat we just saw. Matt Koger taking down Walt Page. Fantastic stuff. Pool B action. Semifinal qualifying for the championship round here. The STIHL TIMBERSPORTS US Championships 2025. There it is. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our beautiful location right here on the lake. We're going to put the axes aside and pick up a saw, the stock saw in particular, and this is how this event works.
Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, one downward and one upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
First heat of the stock saw, Mark Boquin and Alex Storm. Dave, here we go again. MS661s, identical. Same power, same.
Mark Boquin going up against Alexander Storm. First heat of the stock saw. And it looks very, very simple, but it is fraught with tiny little missteps you can make that can take you from the top of the standings right to the bottom.
Yeah, we've seen this field just get tighter and tighter over the years. It is insane.
They're all great at it.
And the level of analysis. You know, these guys know the time from their hands leaving the block till they touch the saw.
Warm up your
saw
saws.
leaving the ground till it enters the wood. The time through upper third, middle third, bottom third of the block. The switch, like every single second just gets, every fraction of a second gets just scrutinized so much in this event.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1. Go!
Lightning quick reflexes off the start. Alex Storm, a little bit of a foot shuffle there. You hear the pitch of these saws. They are in perfect unison. These guys have a dead heat going. It is just slight advantage to Alexander Storm. But I was trying to say, Tommy, is there is a point for all my fellow motorheads out there that have ever seen a dyno read with the torque and horsepower curves. There is a sweet spot in there, and these guys know exactly where it is, and you'll hear these saws just sing together.
The front page.
Springboard.
Oh, well, we're making movie jokes up here. Talk about that stock saw right there. You really dialed in Mark Boquin on that upcut. Sounded like you found that sweet spot.
Yeah, it's always sort of difficult to go first in the hot saw, and I tend to be, or the stock saw, I tend to be in stock saw purgatory. I always make a bad cut here, so I'm always in the first heat, and that just compounds. But that first cut was a little bit shaky. I wasn't sure where the RPMs were, but the second cut, I felt like I could put enough pressure on it to make a smooth cut. I didn't bog it at all, so we'll see how it holds up.
Great, congratulations, good luck rest of the day. Here's the replay, Alex Storm.
Well, here we're looking at that run from Alex Storm, an absolute cascade of chips pouring out of that STIHL MS661. That chain is loaded to capacity. There is nothing more to give, and that's what we need to see from these operators. The saws are absolutely matched from both stands. It's even a blind draw as to who runs which saw, so it's a matter of getting everything you can out of that motor and out of that chain.
Well, Alex Storm, the forestry professor at Penn State, with about 0.68 faster than Mark Boquin to take the lead with a 13.27.
All right, Dave, I think I got some more flags up here to hand out to this Milwaukee. We're going to need these things waving all day long. Of course, we got men's pool C coming up this afternoon, and then the women in prime time here tonight in Milwaukee. So, all right, who's going to be here all night? Who wants some of these flags? These things are awesome. Oh, come on, I know it's humid. I know, Tom. I didn't see your smiling out there. Let's hear it. Absolutely. just like the men's uniforms over here. Deck you guys out. I need to see some full Steins, though. I mean, is this German Fest or is this dry over here? I don't know.
All right, Dave, heat number 2 of the stock saw. Let's bring him out, Aaron Hovis, and the man sitting second place overall, Walt Page.
Aaron Hovis from Marquand, Missouri, going up against, well, we just saw him in the final heat. A great race there in the springboard chop. California's Walt Page. Page on stand 2, Hovis on stand number 1. Time to beat is 13.27, laid down by Alex Storm.
Tommy, not to jump on the Wayback Machine once again, but Walt Page, the very first time we saw him at in California in a college event, he ran the
Warm up your
stock
saws.
And that was the time that Dave Jewett and I both looked at each other and go, you know what, we got something special in this kid. All the college kids came out, they were nervous, they were herky-jerky, stuffed the saw, over-rev, missed their switch. He came out, just made 2 cuts, kind of shrugged his shoulders and walked off the stage.
Athletes ready.
That was easy.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
More pressure than ever, though, right now for Walt Page to perform. Great run in that springboard event. Bit of a fat disc. Oh, there it is. An uncharacteristic bobble from Walt Page on stand number 1. He is dangerously close to that line.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's going down for a look himself. Here I talk him up at being predictable and calm, cool, collected, and Walt kind of threw that out the window. I don't know if Chris he's not reaching for his flag. I'm watching the judge out there.
Both cuts are good.
All right, standing here with Aaron Hovis, winner of that heat. Aaron, got a little heavy on the upcut. Flawless until then. What happened, buddy?
I just felt like I could push a little harder and didn't take it.
Man, I know we saw in this pool yesterday, pool 8 yesterday, the timber was pretty rugged. Was that log, was there different densities in parts of that log? Did that throw you off a little bit?
I didn't notice a whole lot of difference, maybe just a fraction of a difference, but not enough to where I should have done that. That was just a mistake.
All right, buddy, what event are you most looking forward to for the rest of today?
The hot saw.
Hot saw. You'll see him up there later in that, folks. Give Aaron a big round of applause. Awesome cut, Aaron.
Well, there it is, near ground. That's Aaron Hovis with Walt Page in the back. And you can see he gets a little bit rocky as he gets to the bottom. But look in the background. There's Walt Page going for a blistering pace on that changeover. And then trouble again in the foreground with Aaron Hovis just overloading that chain. He has got every single chip capacity, exceeded in that chain. The clutch area can actually build up with debris. The motor just can't take it. They're extremely powerful saws, but we have extremely powerful athletes, and you need to listen to that motor.
Well, the time of 14.86 is official for Aaron Hovis. Puts him only in 3rd place, though, and Walt Page with, as you said, Kevin, a very un-Walt-like stock saw effort there at 15.42. So he's coming a little bit down from his 2nd place finish in our first discipline today, the springboard.
Let's go to the 3rd heat of the stock saw. Logan Scarborough and Cassidy Shear.
Cassidy Shear, the 2019 U.S. champion of STIHL Timbersports, going up against Logan Scarborough back in 2015. Actually, before that, he was college national champion in the STIHL college program at that time.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Cassidy Shears super quick to the saw. Logan Scarborough super quick to the wood. Both these guys are in virtual unison with a slight advantage of Scarborough. Look at the wood tearing at the bottom third of both of these cuts. It is Scarborough by about the margin at the bottom. Boy, Cassidy was trying so hard to reel him in. These guys are pushing these machines to the edge.
Rich Helen, make sure that 4-inch line is remaining. We saw some athletes have trouble yesterday on the upcut.
Both cuts are good.
We'll get a quick interview with Logan. Logan's having a great day, buddy. You got 4th place in the Springboard. Great stock saw. From our view, what did you think?
You know, I didn't really think a whole lot when I got up there on stock saw. So at each event, what I do, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I have to only concentrate on that one. So I didn't pay attention to Springboard after I was done. I went in the back and I just concentrated on my pickups on stock saw, and yeah, it worked.
Are you feeling, tell us about the upcut, the downcut. Is it more ears? Is it the hand pressure? How do you get that all dialed in? Sometimes when I've done stocks, I would listen to the saw go from the competitor prior to me to kind of get an idea. Tell us about your strategy.
Yeah, that's what everybody does in the back. If there's a heat or two before us, I'm definitely listening to that saw. You couldn't put much pressure on it today. You could hear it in the very beginning. I put some on it and then realized, oh no, I can't do that. So I just let off of it and let the saw do the work. Probably some time could have been saved on that turn. I think I came out of the wood, pretty good ways, but I wanted to make sure I had a good upcut. So,
hey, thanks, Logan. We're going to take a look at the replay.
Well, here is that effort from Logan Scarborough, stand number 1. Absolutely loaded that saw up. You see that those chips start to pulse out of that clutch housing. I've said it for a couple years now. That is telling me that clutch housing is just filling up on that down cut. There's not much more left to give. Great concentration, great effort. Keeping those RPMs dialed in exactly right, getting everything you can out of these saws.
A little bit, especially in the middle of the log. That's when you really have to dial in the pressure. But I love Cassidy's technique there.
Well, Logan Scarborough trims Cassidy Shear by about 1/3 of a second to occupy 2nd place as it stands right now. Cassidy Shear's 13.96 has him in 4th. Let's take a look at points in progress as we go through this 2nd discipline of the day, and that's Logan Scarborough, who has cut a good chop and a good cut in the Springboard chop, puts him on top of 12 points. Cassidy Shear right behind him, so those two as it stands now, but we have one more heat left to go, and that will certainly change those overall standings.
Tell you who's super
chasing
happy
Alex Storm, 13-2-7. This is our final heat of the stock saw. Billy Cornelius and Matt Koger.
Yeah.
1/100th of a second. But that's 1 steal point.
Yeah, that is
the championship.
That's all it takes. Billy Cornelius on stand number 1, going up against the 7-time champion Matt Koger. Already won 1 discipline so far today.
You're all friends out in the back there, but on stage, you want to win. You want those bragging rights. Matt Koger always searching for those whenever he's on the stage. But man, Billy Cornelius really needs these points. So great opportunity for Billy.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
7-time, oh no, oh my gosh! 7-time U.S. champion coming off of a win in the Springboard. Absolutely botched the start of that stock saw. More on that, but here's Billy Cornelius coming in around a 14-second flat time. Matt Koger's gonna come in at 15 seconds. He can do nothing at this point but laugh, because if he didn't laugh, he'd probably cry. What an absolute, yeah, tongue sticking out. He knows what's going on.
Both cuts are good.
crazy. They're going for it. A lot of these guys. Hey, Billy, come on over here, buddy. Talk about a great fight-back ability, I like to call it. You had trouble in the springboard, you erased that, attacked that stock, so you came through the bottom and just slammed that bar in. A little bit of anger, I love it. Talk about that cut.
Yeah, I mean, kind of we're almost playing on duplicate of last year at this point, so, you know, just got to take every event at a time, and I love the stock saw, and, you know, it's not often I can beat 7-time champ Matt Koger in an event, but I can do it in stock saw.
And you're a phenomenal underhand cutter, buddy. I know you bought a lot of axes. I want you to pick the right axe today. You were able to actually test axes out back this morning. What are you looking for with this? I'm sorry, it's the standing block chop coming up. What are you looking for when you're testing them?
Yeah, just kind of feeling how your edge is going and kind of what axes are traveling the best in the wood. So, you know, we'll go into some more events and keep having fun.
All right, go for it, buddy. Standing block coming up. Big round of applause to Billy Cornelius. Always smiling, even after a rough springboard, he's still in the hunt. These axes, $650 each. They've got
Well, it can happen to the best of them, and Matt Koger just showed it. Watch when Matt's hands come off this log. He comes down and he hits that chain brake, and there you see him disengage the chain brake. So that chain brake is an inertia brake. It's a safety system in these STIHL MS 661 and all STIHL chainsaws. It's designed if the saw kicks back towards you, your hand hits that brake, knocks it forward, and locks the chain up. Coming down off of the wood, his hand hit the backside of that chain brake on its way to that top handle, locked the chain brake. He's coming up to the block on the throttle. The chain is not spinning. The saw is not doing anything. He has to release that brake. Costs him a bunch of time. But look at that. Even with all of that, he's still sitting 6th in the stock saw. Did not finish at the bottom of the heap. Look at those times. Let's talk about 13s, Tommy.
Wow.
13.95, 13.95,
long time since we've seen.
13.96.
Yes, that is not typical based on the last few years of different type of wood here that we're dealing with for sure. And Alex Storm is going to collect the top points there. Now let's take a look at the overall standings after 2 disciplines. And Logan Scarborough is the man on top. He is actually a point ahead of Matt Koger with that pickup right there. Alex Storm in 3rd and Cassidy Shear in 4th. All right, we got plenty more on the way. Just 2 disciplines down and 4 more chopping and sawing events left on our dance card here in Pool B competition, the US Championships semifinals. 8 competitors gunning for 4 spots in those finals today. The competition is fierce and will continue momentarily. Having fun, enjoying a magical midsummer weekend here in Milwaukee, Lake Michigan. U.S. Men's Pro semifinals. Pool B action here. We got 8 competitors who have qualified to come here to Milwaukee, and only 4 of them are going to make it through Pool B and compete in the finals. Those are coming up tomorrow. Let's take a look at our next discipline, the standing block.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
First heat of the standing block, Billy Cornelius and Cassidy Shear. Boy, you thought Cassidy could cut well 9 feet in the air on a springboard? Watch this again, the massive swing.
Well, Billy Cornelius coming off a top 4 finish. In the previous discipline, the stock saw, going up against former champion here, Cassidy Shear. Cassidy Shear's personal best in this is 15.22 in the standing block chop. He is a strong chopper. Billy's going to have his hands full.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mismatched matchup in my book. As you mentioned, Cassidy Shear, he's down in the low 15s, but he's seeded in heat number 1 because of his performance in 2024, where he posted about a 20-second time, 19.5-second time. So Billy Cornelius has got a race on his hands. Cassidy Shear ought to take this one pretty handily. Wow. Very clean cut from Shear as he has worked his way back. He's got no more wood left to cut. He's out into the backside now. Billy Cornelius right on his heels. Shear looking to drive already. That's a lot of timber. There goes Cassidy Shear. definitely drove through an immense amount of timber on the back side of that log. I thought that was a little premature based on how firm the wood has been here this weekend. Cassidy Shear said, just stand back. Hold my beer. Here I go.
There you go. Watch this.
Look at that pig's ear sticking up. Look at the amount of wood he broke.
Both cuts are good.
Video Cassidy over here. Maybe we can get Cassidy to take his axe out of the sheath and show the crowd exactly what he used. Cassidy, you did that one up and one down pattern. Just phenomenal. We saw a lot of the logs yesterday. Look at this thing. This absolutely tell us the dimensions of that bad boy.
This is 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. I'll swing an 88 in the underhand, but
an 88 meaning 8 inches wide, 8 inches long, and you're also given the opportunity to grease the axe blade up, just helping to retrieve the axe off.
It helps the axe stick less. I don't know if it actually works or not, but everybody else does it, so I do it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Cassidy Shear, your leader in the standing block. That's going to be tough to beat.
Let's look at the front side here at Cassidy Shear. He had one hit get away from him on the far side of that log, stepped up the upward hits on the far side of that log, gets into the back though, and I misspoke. I said he broke a lot of wood. He actually drove a lot of wood, slicing through an immense amount of timber, just leaving that, we call it the pig's ear, sticking up out of the top of that block, just slicing through with beautiful slope, presenting that axe well. Axe was liking that block. Not a fast time compared to what we're used to seeing, but again, firm timber here this weekend. That could be a winning time or a top 2 or 3 time.
Definitely a different baseline on wood. This special week here in Wisconsin and Wisconsin native Cassidy Shear laying down a 19.24 for top points after all of one heat. He came into this in overall points in the top 4 and would love to remain there.
Doesn't get any easier. Cassidy Shear, look at the snap at the end. Heat number 2 of the standing block. Big Mark Boquin versus the winner of the stock saw, Aaron Hovis.
Heat number 2, Mark Boquin of New York going up against Aaron Hovis of Missouri. Personal best for 18.68 for Aaron, 18.53. Should be a good matchup between these two big men competitors. As you mentioned, Mark Boquin, not as big a man as he was before.
He's just as big of a man, just not as much of a
the man within is just as big. Yes, absolutely.
Mark Boquin is a great guy. And
athletes ready.
About his training and his transformation.
3,
done a good
2,
job.
1, go.
Aaron Hovis just drawing chips right out of the gate. Bit of a boxy block. The grain is a little bit squirrely, but man, that axe is liking it. He goes, a slip from Hovis on that turn. He goes 3 upward drivers across the bottom of that. I think he's going to be looking to drive this pretty quick. It's already wiggling. Fiber hanging, small hit back. Aaron Hovis, a 17.63. That is a blistering pace from anyone we've seen here this weekend. Boy, a switch flipped for Aaron Hovis during that chop. He knew that axe was loving that block. It was coming apart well. He brought some gur on that chop.
Both cuts are good.
All right, we're going to bring Hovis in here. He looked rushed right off the start. He just did not have the grease on his axe yet. He slammed that down, got ready, and almost looks like you got yourself a little bit of chip there. When you kind of came down a little bit, you slipped on one of those pieces of wood on the stage. You were like you're on roller skates the entire time, buddy. Maybe that's the key to get these big cuts. Talk to me about what you were feeling, buddy.
A little bit of everything. A little bit of pain, a little bit of happy, sad, I don't know. A little bit of everything, but yeah, no, when I set that last driver, the one chip clocked me right in the face, and I didn't feel great, but it wasn't that bad. And then coming around, I stepped on the chip, and you never know what's going to happen then. But caught myself and turned out pretty decent time. Would have been nice to have found out what it would have been if it would have went smooth.
Yeah, when you almost did a full split there on the way to the backside of the log. I couldn't believe you kept it together. Folks, give Aaron a big, big round of applause. What a cut in the standing block.
Let's look at that run from Aaron Hovis. You see the grain just separating, chips just flying out of the block. Bit of a dry block, but it is a little quirky. Maybe the bottom of the tree goes 3 across, and there it is with a little bit of ice capades here on the stage. Those 3 drivers, though, across that front really got the work done in the front. That sets him up for these back drivers to come down through. Didn't line up perfectly, but it got the job done. Couple fibers on the far side he had to chase, but good cut for Aaron Hovis. He knows. Big fist in the air. Official time there. You see it. A new personal best for Aaron Hovis, again, in not flash timber.
No.
So to have your best cut ever under less than ideal conditions, big feather in his cap.
All right. Boy, this is going by fast. Okay, our next heat, third heat of the standing block chop. Our leader overall, Logan Scarborough versus Alex Storm.
Logan Scarborough taking the overall points lead into this third discipline of the day. Going off on stand number 1 in this third heat of the standing block chop, up against Alex Storm on stand number 2.
But Tommy, the first 2 heats, I looked at him, I go, yeah, so-and-so over so-and-so and so-and-so over. I got a pretty good feeling of how it was going to sort out. A little bit of unknown with Bo Quinn and what new Bo Quinn chopping looks like. This one, I don't know. This is going to be a race.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
The winner of the race may be the one who doesn't mess up, who doesn't miss a hit. Love what I'm seeing from Alex Storm here. Opens 1 and 1. He's got, he left a lot of wood in the front of that log, though. There is a lot of cutting to be done. Now into the back, that axe is hanging up. I'm shifting favoritism over to stand number 1.
Oh, no,
it isn't. It's Alex Storm. Wow, did he just drive through timber? I don't know what happened in the back of that log. From my perspective, it looked like the front of that log had more cutting to be done. He knows more than I do. That's why he's down there, I'm up here. He got around to the back and just drove through that log.
Both cuts are good.
That is a tough one when you got to go back and do like a little karate chop with the axe there, Dave.
Yeah,
to get that block to sever.
Hey, Alex, come on over here. Well, you won the stock saw. You're just riding a wave right now, buddy. Great chop in the standing block. Talk about it.
Oh, man, yeah, that was a good cut. I knew that was a good block. I think a lot of folks are thinking about the wood yesterday. I was thinking about my block. I knew I could cut that in 8 and 8. Had I not hung the heel, would have been a lot smoother of a cut. I hung the heel on the far down hit. Held me up for a little bit. Threw off my pace a little bit, but otherwise it was good.
Talk about situational awareness. Are you aware of your opponent and what's happening over on that other stand? Or is your mind just dialed into your own block?
I'd say only when you're not competing well, you're aware of what's going on. If your mind's not in your block, in your cut, then you're not cutting well. So that block, all I knew was that I was going to turn around and try to get it off as fast as possible.
You're having a great day, buddy. Enjoy it. Keep the momentum going. Let's watch the replay.
Well, here's this run from Alex Storm as he goes to put an 8-hit face in. He's put 1 and 1, an up and a down. Then he goes to a 2-hit pattern. That, to me, looks like a lot of wood left uncut. There's a wall of wood there that's just begging to be cut. But clearly those upward drivers penetrated deep into the middle of that block. That allows, when he comes into this back round of downward drivers, those two meet up. The block breaks across the grain. Tough finish, though, for Logan Scarborough. Just a handful of matchsticks holding the top of that block from falling off. He has to go back and give it a couple small karate chops to get that block finished.
Well, how about Alex Storm there? He won the last discipline, the stock saw, and he's got the second. Well, he's tied for the best time. Not 1/100th of a second separate him and Aaron Hovis. Unbelievable, both sitting at 18.32 officially. tied for first. Both of those guys definitely in the top 4 in overall points right there. Alex Storm on top. This rolling coverage of the standings here. Cassidy Shear in second place. Logan Scarborough, a little bit of a slip up here in the standing block. And Aaron Hovis occupy the top 4 spots.
Heat 4, final heat of standing block chop. Walt Page versus the world record holder in the standing block, Matt Koger.
Walt Page on stand number 1 going up against Matt Koger. Matt Koger, big time misstep there in the stock saw. A little bit of a bump in the road for 7-time U.S. champion. I think he'll be looking to rectify that a little bit with a fast time in the standing block chop. Walt Page, though, is a man who's been on his form. Had a great showing at the North American Trophy Championships back in May.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, 2 Titans in the standing block chop. We watched them go head-to-head in the springboard, and we're at it again. We've taken basically the same block of wood. It's a little bit bigger. Now it's nailed firmly to the stage. Small advantage, Koger into the backside, but this man drives, there it is, drives a tremendous amount of wood, and he does so right there on cue. Matt Koger putting on a clinic in this standing block chop. 14.43 showing his unofficial time right now for Matt Koger. You know that time is going to shave away. I think that unofficial time is...
Both cuts are good.
I wanted to go over there, Matt, and grab that block just to show the crowd, but you guys are on a roll here. There they go. We'll do it. We might do it in the finals tomorrow, buddy. I've got a feeling we might see you there. You broke the world record. I mean, you just are phenomenal in the standing block, but you don't seem to take it for granted. You're always studying your technique. You're always kind of just micro adjustments. You go down to Tasmania. You train with your good friend Dale Beams. Talk about what it's like to really never have an off season.
Well, you know, everything changes. Your body changes, your mentality changes, and it's always you versus the wood. So you do have to change your plans from time to time. And it's great to go down to Tasmania, and Beams has helped me out a lot. Didn't really start cutting good standing blocks about 2015, and I was just learning good technique and learning more about the sport and just applying it. And that's just kind of what I try to continue to do, just keep putting the best cuts I can forward and still learn from my mistakes.
As you said earlier, if I can just echo that, a good friend of yours, Matthew Gurr, said, know your body's mechanics, and it's working for you, buddy. Great job in the standing block. Keep it going. Clean up that stock saw tomorrow in the finals, will you? If you get there. We're going to see Matt Koger in the single buck coming up.
Well, here is that run from Matt Koger. You see him pick up that far wood with that down driver. Watch this hit roll around and chase that far wood into the backside. He is about 1 hit ahead of Walt Page, and that's not where Walt Page wants to be in this race. Matt Koger drives a disgusting amount of timber. There it is. Drives and shears an amazing amount of timber. He's right there with Jason Lentz and Cassidy Shear. Just absolutely crushes the end of that block. If you're entering the backside of this log, a hit behind Matt Koger, you're in a rough parking spot.
Absolutely. That is a tough neighborhood. Matt Koger, top points, 14.23, 2.5 seconds ahead of Walt Page, who occupies second place after that outstanding last matchup in that discipline. Overall standing shows Matt Koger back on top there. Yes, well, still on top, I should say. 2-point lead ahead of Alex Storm. Alex Storm having a great day. Walt Page hanging in there very well. Now there's the all-important 4th spot there. Cassidy Shear, Logan Scarborough tied on points, 14 each. That's what today is, what this is all about. We're ready to get on to our next discipline. We're already more than halfway through with our competition here, and coming up next, we have got the next one, the single buck.
Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
Let's keep this show rolling. First heat of the single buck, Aaron Hovis and Billy Cornelius. 480 millimeters,
Aaron
48
Hovis.
centimeters. It's just over
Pretty good day out here. Tied in that fourth spot. Aaron Hovis, personal best of 15-16 on stand number 1 in the single buck. Stand number 2, Billy Cornelius. A lot of years competing out here. He'd be on stand number 2.
Well, and Tommy, we've been talking about that all-important spot number 4, that bubble spot. Are they in? Are they advancing? I'm also watching another spot in this field, and that's spot number 8. The reason I'm watching spot number 8, you finish at the bottom of your pool, you are relegated to the boiler room. I don't know where they send you, but you are your application is not accepted to the STIHL Timbersports Series next year. I think it's a 2-year wait period. Somebody will have to check me on that. But Billy Cornelius right now in that number 8 spot, he may not be even looking ahead to number 4. He may just be looking at number 7.
Yeah.
Get me out of the basement.
Absolutely. Don't want to be in the basement to wrap it up.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Hovis has really been coming on strong in all the chopping events. Here's our chance to see him in a hand sawing event, looking very strong. That saw is cutting well. Large, long noodles coming out of both of these saws. It's going to be advantage Hovis at the end. Cornelius, so about 2 pushes behind, showing up under 15 seconds for Aaron Hovis. Should be a new personal best, I believe, for Hovis.
It would be. If official.
Very, very well. These guys are making it look soft, and you have to commend Aaron Hovis. He's going to take that disc with him, study how many strokes, and you can learn a lot from the wood chops, from the blocks, from the discs that drop. Here's the call.
Both cuts are good.
I want to talk about that cut. You know, they're running the whole saw, but we talk about it over and over. The belly on the saw, there's so much happening. The teeth, the rakers, right down to the handle, the distance that the handle is from the saw. Buddy, what are you keeping that for? We know that good single buck sawyers can analyze the disc. I like how you used the whole saw out there, using the advantage of the belly of the saw.
Yeah, so I've been working on single buck a lot. Watching slow-mo videos, sending a lot of videos to David Moses, which is here, which is awesome, and but really been working on single buck and learning how to feel what the saw's doing, and that's what a lot of sawing is feel. You got to feel what the teeth are doing, what the rakers are doing, and once you start paying attention to that, you can be able to read the wood and then read the saw.
I noticed it, I don't know if you did, right when you got into the big wood, there was a slight grab on the pull. Maybe the crowd didn't see that. I know you noticed it, you made the nice correction and finished the block off, but I know you can see it right there in the middle of the log, that raker just grabbed. No panic, finish the cut.
Nope, stuff happens and you gotta just roll with it.
All right, great job. Let's let this guy rest up here. We're gonna watch the replay. Aaron Hovis leading the single.
Not to fatten his ego anymore, but Dave Jewett is known around the world as one of the best technicians in the single buck. And you hear Aaron Hovis talking about watching Dave Jewett in slow motion, frame by frame. And you see that saw just melt down through, the nose disappearing back into the block, handle all the way in, big muscles engaged. This is not an arms event. This is a core and leg event.
Going to be a personal best for Aaron Hovis. Official time of 14.66 for Billy Cornelius. 15.83.
Heat 2 in the single buck. Let's bring him out. Walt Page and Alex Storm.
Stand 1, Walt Page. Getting it done here today, remaining in that top 4 all the way through our competition so far. Going up against Alex Storm, who is also getting it done today. He has been spending his time in the top 4, the majority of it, hoping to stay there when it's all said and done.
Well, Tommy, this is the first time we have seen Walt somewhere other than the marquee matchup, somewhere other than the final heat.
Good point.
He's down here mid-pack, slugging it out with everybody else. Walt, I don't know, this is an event that I've always thought he should do better at, and he does well, don't get me wrong, but this is one I feel like he's got the body mechanics and whatever, so I don't know if it is an equipment issue, if it's a mental piece, if there's just something that's not coming together in his technique, but this is a discipline for Walt Page that I feel like he should be ranked higher in.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very flat start from Alexander Storm on stand number 2. Walt Page looking very good, but I don't know, that saw is just free. It doesn't seem like it's dropping like it should be. And again, he's gonna post a good time. This might be a new PB. Wow, what a finish. I thought Alexander Storm had him. Something happened there where, wow, what a finish between these two guys. I was watching over on stand number 1. I tuned in on stand number 2. I go, yep, there goes Alexander Storm. I think he's going to be off to a tear. But, boy, these guys had just a really close finish at the bottom of this log.
Both cuts are good.
Yeah, and I was nervous there for Storm. He only had about 7 seconds left to get ready after he got his starter cut into that log.
Well, let's talk about that. Are we thinking Page got you? How do you know that?
I saw the officials.
Oh, did you say that? We're just a bit too busy. You had a little chatter on the top. Talk about that. How do we correct that?
Oh, I probably wasn't focusing at the top. My mind wasn't, I have a focus point at the beginning of the log where I like to watch. As I start to get down through the log, get past that initial fog of the beginning of the cut, and I just probably wasn't, with my eyes, I wasn't focusing on where I should have been to make sure that I was pulling the saw back without that chatter. I don't think I was pulling the saw back hard enough.
A lot of the athletes I found, they're so anxious to get that saw back in the other direction, they don't really finish that pull stroke. But that's really an easy correction, isn't it? Once you know, just got to get that handle to the wood, which is really just getting the saw out of the far side.
Yeah, I was probably short stroking at the top. I've got a really bad habit. You've seen it a million times. It works on smaller logs, and then it ends up biting me on the bigger logs typically. So I felt like I was running the whole saw in the middle of the log and the bottom, but probably not at the top.
Underhand chop coming up. Go rest up, buddy. Great job. It looks like Walt Page took the heat.
Well, we just saw that little chatter on stand number 2 for Storm, and it's just maybe a little bit of an angle shift. He's dragging the heel of that saw back into the corner of the log on a pull stroke. Walt Page looking very smooth, though. Could draw a little more of the nose of that saw and maybe get him back off the block a little bit. The bottom, though, he's really getting it dialed in. Watch this finish. Both into a draw stroke, and then they shove in. Wow. So we're not judging this off that camera angle, thankfully.
Yeah.
They have high-speed cameras straight on the end of the log, looking for teeth coming out of the bottom of that log. Advantage Walt Page by hundredths of a second.
Yeah, all of 3/100ths of a second. Walt Page has probably had all of the photo finishes he wants for today, but the good side of it, you're in a photo finish, and he wins. And this one, Walt Page.
Heat 3 in the single
Takes
buck from
second
Hayward,
place.
Wisconsin, Cassidy Shear. And his opponent, Matthew Koger. Cassidy Shear winning the title in Hayward last weekend.
Cassidy Shear on stand number 1. Cassidy Shear, you remember, came into this tied. Overall points at that critical 4th place spot there. So a little bit precarious there. Matthew Koger leading in overall points. Not precarious at all. Expected to cruise it on through into a final championship qualification.
Well, and Tommy, at the rules meeting prior to this event, all of the conversation, or the majority of the conversation, was around the single buck and a new rules change. No more foot blocks, no affixing wood blocks to the stage to lock your feet in. It goes with the rule about no power tools on stage, things like that. Cassidy Shear, I tell you what right now, folks, after the show today, go back through YouTube. tune back into 24, 23, and look at the apparatus, the scaffolding network that Cassidy Shear brilliantly, I say, engineered and brought on the stage.
Athletes
that
ready.
Is no more.
Stand
Cassidy
to your
Shear,
timber.
no foot blocks. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
So these guys are allowed to mark out with chalk on the stage, but he's going to be relying on those metal caulks, those metal spikes only. See a good amount of foot movement from Matt Coger in the background. Cassidy Shear, though, doing Cassidy Shear stuff.
He's going to do
Drives off ahead of Matt Coger, showing a 14-10. What a run from two exceptional single sawyers. Tons of foot movement from Matt Coger on stand number 2 with no metal caulks on.
Both cuts are good.
And did you see there, Matt Coger was reeling him in from that midpoint down. It looks like the center of that log is much
I want
softer
to talk about that
than the
first
top.
stroke, Cassidy. Just unbelievable. That first pull stroke. I don't know if there's anyone in the business that does as much damage. I talked to you last weekend after your big win up in Hayward. You said you were just pulling as much as you could on that pull. Phenomenal cut. Your front foot gave way on that last stroke. Didn't seem to bother you too much.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a foot block sawyer. They made them illegal this year, so I had to make an adjustment. I was just trying to get through that cut. Yeah, I'll keep getting comfortable and I'll keep going, and yeah, got to learn how to saw without foot blocks.
All right, good job, Cassidy. Underhand chop. I'm getting all these guys out. It's warm out. They got a big underhand chop.
Coming up next.
Well, here's a look at these two guys going side by side. It was the start of the cut that was really impressive for Cassidy Shear. And you can see, despite the foot blocks, he is locked in pretty good. A little bit of movement, more movement in the foot. And there you can see it in the background in this shot. More movement in terms of footing on stand number 2 for Matt Coger. The bottom, though, Cassidy Shear just reels back, winds up, and punches off the bottom of that block. Foot slipping at the end, but it doesn't matter. Job's done. Disc is on the deck.
Well, even without the foot blocks, Cassidy Shear pretty formidable there. A good time, 13.89. Top points with 1 heat remaining in the single buck.
Huge points there for all of this, and it's Storm. Page keeping in there in 3rd. Here's the overall standings right now after the single buck. Heading into the underhand, Matt Coger with 23 overall points. Tied for 2nd, Shear and Storm with 22. And on the bubble, Walt Page with 21 points.
We are clear for Heat 4, the boss says, so let's bring them out. Heat 4 of the single buck, Logan Scarborough, and the man who may be the fastest single buck of the world has ever seen. That is Mark Beauquin.
Mark Beauquin in New York on stand number 2. Personal best of 11.79 going up against one of our really top performers today. To be quite honest with you, Logan Scarborough. He's a good single bucker. Personal best of 12.71.
But again, we are watching a new and improved Mark Beauquin. We'll see how that translates in the single buck event. Heard Dave Jewett introduce Mark Beauquin as possibly the world's best single saw operator. That means a lot from a guy like Dave Jewett, who's also considered one of the world's best single buck operators.
Logan Scarborough, though, this dude has been absolutely dominating the single buck in these pools.
Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Logan Scarborough's return to the STIHL Timbersports stage not too long ago, and this event has just become an absolute jumping off point for him in terms of points.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Head-to-head, literally face-to-face on this stage. A little bit of a chatter or jump from Logan Scarborough. Handle not quite going in. Look at Mark Beauquin on stand number 1. Didn't even get back and set in position to rip off and put a push stroke on that thing. 11:99 showing his unofficial time for Mark Beauquin.
At one point, I thought, we're safe. Mark Beauquin, he's got some glitches. We'll be fine. He's not a threat, and he just comes out of nowhere. And he's got a technique that's working. He works on it. It works for him. He and I train together. The way I saw it doesn't work for him.
We acknowledge that. What he does works. Rich Allen, here's the call.
Both cuts are good.
Here comes Mark Beauquin. The stage is slightly tilting to the right here. Hey, big guy. Are we happy? All right, get up here. Let's talk about it. You know, you said to me after the big cut in Hayward last week, and you hung up 2 days in a row. You said, Dave, I don't know what I'm doing. Buddy, you got it right back. That just shows so much. A great character win, as I like to say, in the single buck. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good cut. I mean, it was a little heavy on the top. It's tighter wood, and you could see me have a couple of them short strokes. And I heeled slightly, and it took me about 3 strokes to settle in. But then I just tried keeping it smooth, and it was good.
And it looks like you just come into your own as you get lower into the block. Most athletes struggle at the top. Once you get into that power zone, it's just, if you have a lead, I just don't see anyone catching you.
I appreciate you saying that. That's very nice of you.
Well, I can, but you know, I'm not into it. No, you and I we're gonna have a big race in Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks. But Mark, I love training with this guy. Tell us about, is that your favorite event?
Yeah, by far. I mean, out of all the disciplines, single buck is my favorite. I'm trying to get more well-rounded in everything else. I've been training a lot. But yeah, as far as my favorite at the moment, it's definitely single buck. It just comes most naturally to me. So yeah.
All right, Mark Beauquin winning because he's having fun and having fun because he's winning. Let's watch the replay of this guy. He says he could have cut.
Every single Steel Timber Sports athlete, even when they break a world record, they're going to talk about what they could have done different, what they could have done better. Things were a little short stroke at the top. See that reddish color up there? That is usually dense compression wood. It's very sappy, and the saw does not drop through it. You get past that wood, it gets whiter, softer, cleaner, and that's when he can really run that entire saw, draw the nose back in, run it all the way to the handle. That is a season best and personal best for Mark Beauquin, sub 12-second time here today.
Absolutely. Personal best in that wood is exceptional. Mark Beauquin really putting on a clinic and dominating in the single buck stall. Let's take a look at the overall points. That's what today is all about. Got to be in the top 4 when it's all said and done. And with 2 events left, we got Matt Koger on top, Cassidy Shear hanging in as well, actually tied with him for first place. Third place is Logan Scarborough, and there's Alex Storm and Walt Page. Storm in, Page first man out, followed by Beauquin, Hovis, and Cornelius.
What a points battle, 21 points. A tie at 21, a tie at 20, a tie at 19.
Well, it's hard to get to the finals. Today seems exceptionally hard. It's just a big mountain to climb. So many good competitors.
Keep waving them,
ready to go on this special day.
All right, keep it up, keep it up. How are those steins flowing out there? I haven't seen many beers being drinking in this crowd. We got to get this place hyped. We got the Women's National Championship tonight. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, we got to get this little guy one. He looks like he could be the next Cassidy Shear. Absolutely. Oh, with that thing on? Absolutely. Why don't you take a hat too, buddy? You're earning it today. You're earning it. All right, who have I missed over here? Let's hear it for Steel. Let's hear it for John Deere, our big sponsors here this weekend. Oh, there's some Steins. These are my people. Keep them flowing. Oh, that one's empty. Here, take this flag, go get a refill, buddy. Absolutely. Love it.
Getting ready to continue with discipline number 5 of our 6. We got the axes back in hand, ready for the underhand.
In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
First heat of the underhand chop, Aaron Hovis versus Billy Cornelius.
Aaron Hovis going to be on stand number 1, going up against Billy Cornelius. Aaron Hovis on paper looks like a heavy favorite in this particular first heat of the underhand.
And both these guys solid underhand cutters, and Aaron Hovis has just been doing exceptionally well today. Just really making this stage his own. Billy Cornelius is struggling mightily right now in the basement, spot number 8, that dreaded spot number 8. He is looking to chop his way up to anything other than 8th place right now. Boy, the pace from Cornelius on stand number 2.
A quick start.
He is bringing it. He is right there on the start. Excellent swing speed. Hovis around to the backside, 2 blows ahead, but I think Cornelius has done a lot of work in the front side of that log. A pile of large chips. Clean face for Cornelius as well. What a great looking cut for Cornelius. I think Hovis is going to get him though. Maybe not.
Oh,
there it is. It is. It's Hovis by
barely.
1 blow. Just barely. Great clean cut from Cornelius. 1 hit behind Aaron Hovis.
Both cuts are good.
Let's get a talk from Aaron Hovis. We talked about the equipment that they bring. See if Hovis, I want to see if Hovis, did you use the same axe that you used in the standing block chop, Aaron?
No, well, as I was back there testing, feeling of the weight of my underhand versus the springboard versus the standing block, they were all a little bit different. So testing in the footholds, testing inner block out back, I made a switch. I've used 3 different axes today, and that springboard block was just hard, but I've made the right choices in the other events. So.
Let's talk real quick about these axes. You know, these axes are forged in the North Island of New Zealand, but then to send around the world to be ground. Who grinds your axes?
Rob Spry. Thank you, Rob. These things are cutting awesome.
There you go, Rob Spry, right down the road from me. Rob Spry grinding some of the best axes in the world. We'll let you go rest up, buddy. Hot saw. Hot saw coming up next.
Well, here's a look at that run in the underhand. Billy Cornelius on the left, Billy Cornelius on the right, Aaron Hovis on the left. About a 2-blow advantage for Hovis in the back of that block. Billy Cornelius cut the back of that block beautifully, though. Excellent axe placement, tons of slope, throwing a big, looks like about an 8x8 axe into the backside of this log, and it really was just a horse race at the bottom. Both these guys had a fair amount of timber still at the bottom, had to roll the nose around into that last triangle of wood at the bottom. 1 hit advantage to Aaron Hovis. Great race, 2 great competitors.
Yeah, really good race, separated by 1 second, basically. Aaron Hovis gets the win over Billy Cornelius, but Billy notching a personal best, something he needs at this point in the proceedings here today.
But your current leader, Aaron Hovis, 26.09 seconds.
All right, so the next heat of the underhand chop, Dave. We got some heavy hitters coming to the stage, looking for some very valuable steel points. Here we go. Next heat on position 1. Let's hear it for Alex Storm. On position 2, Logan Scarborough.
Alex Storm, Logan Scarborough. Alex Storm having a good day today. Spending most of his time in the top 4. He's on stand number 1. Logan Scarborough kind of staying right around that number 4 spot. Sometimes above, sometimes below. Mostly above, though.
See him working on that
So he's going to be bearing down on this one, you can bet, with only one event after this one.
And Logan Scarborough over the years has switched between being a club-handed chopper and a slide-handing chopper. I'm curious to see what he's going to break out here today. I got to be honest, I thought these two would be inverse.
Athletes ready.
Now,
stand to
we may
your
see that
timber.
scale tip here in the underhand, but Alexander Storm's been cutting good underhands too. Swing speed advantage to Alexander Storm. A little bit of a hang up there from the bottom of the block. The axe resting in the bottom of that block. A little wiggle of the handle. A quick turn for Logan Scarborough on stand number 2. Alex Storm just spraying hits into the back of that block, but he's getting the job done. I feel like Scarborough was even alternating swing strategies during the chop.
Making sure those lower fibers are severed. What a speed. I don't remember seeing Alex hang up at all. It was just recoiled back into the wood. There didn't seem to be any glitches.
Brother, you remember how that one turned out?
Just almost a flawless cut, considering how tough these logs are.
Both cuts are good.
It could have been for Scarborough there if that axe wasn't sticking for him. He was driving a ton of wood, but here's Alex Storm.
Yeah,
here,
we'll
Dave.
talk about it to Alex Storm. You know, everybody thinks, hey, why not just make the axe as thin as possible so it penetrates a little bit? If it's too thin, it'll stick. Whatever axe you use, buddy, the way you delivered it is beautiful. I didn't see any stick. You had this momentum. You carried it right to the end.
Yeah, Dave, that's the same axe I use in the standing block. By far, it tested the best. It's been a 2-year process. I've been reworking my underhand swing. I went to a training camp, the Pennsylvania Lumberjack Championships put on by Zach Browse last year. And my first swing up on a block, Mike Esch said, we're gonna change everything you're doing. You can get a block off, but you're not cutting them the way you should. So I've been working a lot on cutting a lot square, which is keeping the axe freer in the log. It hasn't paid off. It's a long process to rework a swing, and it's been about a year and a half in the making to really start to cut blocks and have them come off square.
And that's what I've heard even guys like Matt Koger say. It takes 1 to 2 years to change the mechanics of your swing. It's pretty impressive, buddy. And you really do. I like how you give a shout out to Pennsylvania Association putting in a training camp on.
Yeah, for all the young kids out there, keep an open mind. Someone tells you're not doing something right, listen to them because you're probably not.
Congratulations, buddy. Great cut. Hot saw coming up for that guy.
I had a lot of people tell me I wasn't doing things right over the years, and I tried to listen. Yeah, but they talked a lot there with Alexander Storm about the axe being free, and I mentioned during the original run of this how the axe was hanging up for Scarborough. Every one of there you see in the far side, the axe kind of rests, and he has to give that handle a little shake. On the chip side, it releases, but there again, on the drive side, hang up. The top is clear. Now he's clearing chips, but when he goes into the bottom, it just sticks, a little micro stick every time. Dave Jewett said before, it's like pedaling your bicycle uphill as hard as you can and then hitting a pothole, and it just knocks the momentum away.
Alex Storm, 21.52 to take over the lead in the underhand chop. Logan Scarborough at second place, 24-32.
Full House, California.
Cassidy Shear, for the first time today, not in the top 4 to start this underhand chop, this discipline right here. So he's looking to do very good. He's got Cassidy Shear in there, and Walter Page not in the top 4 at this point. So Walt Page, a little bit of pressure on him right here. Let's get that straight. Cassidy Shear looking to hold him off as best he can. Shear on stand 1, Page on stand 2.
Walt Page is a good underhand cutter, but I never consider this his mainstay event.
Timber.
However, this year he has been coming on stronger than in the past, and he's going to need every steel point he can muster. Boy, the pace from Cassidy Shear. Cassidy Shear around the back, 2 hits in ahead. Walt Page very close to that foothold. Walt almost a little bit of a side slap on some of those hits. On the chip side, they're driving now. Walt's got a lot of wood in the bottom. He had to go back and chip it again. Wood is not what these guys thought. Cassidy Shear, wow. I didn't think Walt Page was that close. Cassidy Shear showing a 22.38 as his unofficial time.
8 in the front. It just pull apart, I think he got incredibly excited. See some of the redness on the chip side of that log of Cassidy. It may have been tough.
Both these guys just focused on that top four. Walt Page on the outside looking in. I know he was feeling the pressure. That 23-second cut, I like that cut for him.
Both cuts are good.
Again, not close to his personal best time,
No.
but
All right, we're going to pull Cassidy Shear in here, talk about that cut. I haven't seen the replay yet, though, Cass. We couldn't see the front side of that log. Talk to me about the turn there. Did you drive enough on the front, and was it just compression wood on the back, or what were you seeing?
I have no idea, Dave. Probably could have gone 10 on the back, and probably should have done cleared one more chip on the top on the back. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. Whatever, I'm gonna go have a good hot saw. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Yo-ho!
Yo-ho! Give it up for Cassidy Shear there. We're gonna take a look at this replay
And see what happened on the front side of that log here, Dave. What do you see?
well, here's Cassidy Shear opening up that block, goes 2 and 2, over to draw those chips out, goes right to the bottom, right to the top, and now he's going to start, he draws one more chip out of the bottom. That's a good insurance policy, but it just doesn't seem like it got him very far. The wood just blowing apart in the back side of this, and he just may not have placed drivers in the front side where they needed to. A lot of wood at the top. There it is. That's probably that chip hit he was talking about. Goes 3 drivers down, doesn't go anywhere. 4th driver. Now he is just looking for any fiber he can find. He's now driving. You see him back on his heels trying to draw that axe in. He is driving a tremendous amount of wood. You can't even see it in the bottom center of that block. You're just kind of swinging on faith that it's in there somewhere, looking for those fibers.
You know, we looked at that cut for Cassidy.
Well, Cassidy Shear trimming Walt Page by a little more than a second there. So Shear standing in 2nd place and Walt Page in 3rd. Alexander Storm with 21.52, still the top time. 1 heat remains in the underhand. Overall standings, this is the rolling tracking of that right now, and Cassidy Shear on top. Of course, we've got 1 more heat left to go, and that will change everything. Alex Storm, Walt Page, and Logan Scarborough filling out our top 4 as it stands on that sheet.
National title. Looks like we have 1 final heat in the underhand. This will be Mark Boquin versus Matthew Koger.
All right, final heat, the matchup, the 2 top rated in the underhand are going to be Mark Boquin on stand number 1, Matt Koger, 7-time U.S. champion on stand number 2.
Maybe not the fastest, but he hit harder than anyone else at 16. Now it appears to be the fastest and sometimes the fastest in the world.
I think we've got a real race here. We've been talking about the transformation of Mark Boquin. Always been a strong underhand cutter, and I think we're going to see more pace from Boquin. Matt Koger, though, in the underhand, I mean,
athletes ready.
This will be a race. This will be a race.
3, 2, 1, go!
Matt Koger up, ready to go, axe downward, ready to strike, on go. Look at the pace from Boquin. That is Matt Koger-like pace over on stand number 1 from Mark Boquin. Slight advantage at the turn for Matt Koger. Let's see who did more work in the front side of the log. Both drawing chips. Boquin getting a little out of control on the bottom of that block.
Wow.
There it is, Matt Koger by only a second.
When was the last time you saw Matt Koger chop an underhand in the 20s, Dave?
Both cuts are good.
Must have been a tough piece of wood down there on position 2.
Matt Koger's a big guy. I'm not going to give him a hard time. Matt, you really got to chop the log you're drawing. What's this expression on your face mean? What is it saying?
Just kind of like I guess like a reassurance that like, okay, even though the wood's firm, you're still cutting them good. And, you know, there's a few things to clean up on. And, that's chopping.
Yeah, you always have a no panic expression on your face. I love the story. At 16 years old, you were the hardest hitter in the country. You brought the speed after that. Talk about who coached you. How many, are you third generation? Talk about the upbringing in this sport.
Yeah, so I guess I would be considered a third generation competitor. My great uncle was the one who got my family started in the sport, traditionally timber camps versus timber camps. And then cousins and uncles, and my father taught me how to chop and got me started. And, you know, a gentleman from Australia, Jim Alexander, really started encouraging those first few steps. And then I've learned from everybody since along the way.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Koger on the prowl for another national title with one event going to go, the hot saw.
If you have sensitive ears, well, every once in a while you got to reformulate a recipe, and this is our first look at the reformulated Mark Boquin, and I like what I see. Great cutting from Boquin. He gives up about a swing and a half to Matt Koger in the backside of the log, but you can see as Matt Koger goes to open up the backside of that log, the outside is just a little bit corky, case hardened something, and the axe just grabs, sticks the heel into the guts of that one, but pulls it together, had a lot of wood to drive, had to really swing through to the far side of that log. Two tremendous cuts as we hear the hot saws fire up in the background.
Oh, make no mistake about it, they are on the way. And Matt Koger taking top points in the underhand chop, his official time of 20.99. Alex Storm remaining in there somehow between Koger and Boquin. Mark Boquin with a 21.79. Cassidy Shear in fourth place. Let's take a look now at the overall standings with one discipline remaining. And there's Matt Koger on top. Not a huge lead, but pretty comfortable in terms of making the top four, and that's what today is about. Alex Storm, Cassidy Shear in third place right there, 26 points, just a point behind Alex Storm. And Mark Boquin, with 25 points, has moved up into the top four. Walt Page, surprisingly outside of that top four, but and I tell you what, the event we've got coming up next after this break is the one that can upset the apple cart in so many ways. Stick around. Pool B action continues with the hot saw when we return. A little bit of sunshine and a light breeze coming off of Lake Michigan here. Perfect setting here for our Pool B competition, semifinals. Looking for the spots in the final US Championship. We got a big one coming up next, though. This one can change the landscape in a big way. Let's take a look at the hot saw.
Hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action, and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
Yeah, here we go. Everybody's favorite event, the most extreme event in the most extreme sport, the hot saw. Coming up next, Milwaukee, share your favorite moments on Instagram. Scan the QR code, tag STIHL TIMBERSPORTS US, and let us know how much fun you had out here all weekend long. Of course, still to come today, up on the stage, we've got men's Pool C action, and then the US national title event for the ladies here tonight in prime time, starting at 8 o'clock. But make sure, use that QR code. Let us know how you're feeling out there on Instagram. All right, Super Dave Jewett, the hot saw event. You are a former world title holder in this event. Talk to me a little bit about the hot saw.
It's just, there's so much that goes into, it's the hot saw. You have to make sure it's running. All the mechanical errors. We saw a world record broken yesterday. Nate Hodges broke the record in the 4-second range, but everything that happened prior to that, the subplot, the broken crankshaft, the broken throttle linkage, the broken pipe, the electronics. And he said, look, you need to be a mechanic in the hot saw. You buy a hot saw, you better learn how to fix it. One of our athletes coming up in Pool C, he just got his crankshaft fixed in New Hampshire, got it sent here, it somehow arrived, but that's why most of these athletes, they own more than one now. They'll own 2 or 3 hot saws, but 200, why? 60 horsepower, 200 to 220 mile an hour chain speed, 60 one cylinder. Sometimes they're 250, sometimes they're all the way up to 430. The 430cc broke the world record yesterday, but can you control it? That's the issue. When it's on the line, the game's on the line, 6 inches of wood. And unlike the stock saw, you have to start the hot saw.
All right, let's get started here. First heat of the hot saw coming out on position 1. Let's hear it for Alex Storm. On position 2, Mark Beauquin.
Alex Storm coming up on stand number 1. Alex Storm having a good day out here today, but got to do well in the hot saw here if he wants to bust through in the top 4 and make it to the finals. Going up against Mark Beauquin, who stands in the top 4 right now, in 4th place, as a matter of fact.
Well, Tommy, I don't know if we can start a GoFundMe or some sort of associated fundraiser, but I'd like to start a fund to buy Mark Beauquin a better crankcase side cover. Right now he's running, looks like a number 10 can with some bungee cords. I can't get behind this. I feel like we got to help the guy out.
Yeah.
Right now, Dave, they're going down this checklist in there.
Yeah, there's a shot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Would you contribute? Would you help the guy out?
He's trying to cage it with some green wire. I don't know how sound of practice that is. He knows better than I do.
30 seconds.
The switch, the ignition switch on. You're not kidding. Beauquin on the right.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both saws away. That's a good step number 1. Trouble on stand 2, though, for Mark Beauquin. As he fans, he misses that transition at the bottom of the block. Both of these guys, though, posting really solid times. Beauquin, not necessarily known as an exceptional hot saw operator. Alexander Storm just learning the sport as well. For both of these guys to be around that 6.5 second mark, the mutual fist bump there is like, hey, buddy, way to go. We both just survived that and posted some solid times.
Say that, Dave. That's like the Tony Romo announcer's jigs when a kicker's about to come up and kick a field goal. That was rude.
Both cuts are good.
There we go. Both cuts are good. Beauquin's got to be jacked up. Storm jacked up.
Storm's jacked. Great cut. You did what you needed to do. You know, they say in sports you don't have to be more than yourself, just be more of yourself. You made a good cut, a safe cut. We're thinking you're in the finals, buddy. Talk about your day.
Yeah, this is a good hot saw pool, so we'll see what happens. That was a PR for me because I've never made a clean hot saw run in STIHL Timbersports, so I'm happy with that. Otherwise, good day, ups and downs, keep a level head, and just go on to the next event. So that's what it takes to try to be competitive in these events.
Boy, you get the Attaboy Award, the Consistency Award today. We're proud of you, buddy. We're going to see what happens. Regardless, you can have a beer, but first, how about a shout-out?
I just want to say thank you to my fiance and her mom and her dad for coming out and supporting me. They made a great sign for me, and that's been helping me along the whole way. So, newly fiance.
All right, go celebrate, buddy. There's the sign right there. Severe thunderstorm warning. We love it.
Well, here we go. Here's the rising storm as we get to the top of this log. A little bit of a hesitation at the block, but Beauquin is down through and fans the edge of that second cut. Gets it pulled back together. He's in the block. Doesn't matter, though. Alex Storm, look at the lean. Harry Burnsworth approved of that lean on that third cut from Alexander Storm, stand number 1. Harry Burnsworth used to say, I'll tell you when you're pushing hard enough, your feet will come off the stage.
seconds remaining. Alex Storm, though, high five to that guy. Well, how many times do we see athletes overcorrect when they have the swing and a miss, and then they just say, oh my Lord, I got to get back into this log, and then, oh boy, they start cutting cakes instead of cookies.
All right, Alex Storm came to play today, absolutely. Personal best for him in the hot saw, the 6.48. Ditto for Mark Beauquin, 6.62. Both of these guys came into the hot saw, the final discipline of the day, in the top 4. They are doing their job, and they've shorn it up a little bit. They've added to their position. Let's see if they can hold on.
All right, you see the judges out there marking that 6-inch line on these logs. They go out there, they inspect. You'll see the judges hit the deck to make sure those lines are still there. And we've seen athletes in the past, Dave, where they have they've got done with their 3 cuts, it was outside of the 6-inch line, and then their saw will bump up and touch the other side of it, just nick that wood, and that's technically cutting over the line. That's
I did it. I lost. Steel sponsored a national title one time. I lost it. I came down, the saw hit the deck, bounced up on the other side of that 6-inch line. Cost Matt Koger a national title a few years back, and that's when Cassidy Shear won the national title here on this stage. Cassidy was in the hot seat. Matt Koger was going for the win, bounced up. Cassidy got his win. He did it right, went on to take 2nd in the world. And we're just waiting patiently to get the Steel logo on there for heat number 2. And we will not be, it won't be long, and Pool C will be coming up, and we're gonna do it all over again.
I'm looking at these hot saws out here right now. I love Cassidy's saw. Purple Rain up here on the stage. Name that saw. These are some big, big motors. Over 300 cc's on the stage right now. You know they're running those 404 high-tooth chains. But all right, let's bring them out. Our next heat of the hot saw on position 1, your local boy. Let's hear a big yo-ho for Cassidy Shear. On position 2, Logan Scarborough.
Should be a good race here as well. Cassidy Shear on stand number 1, the former U.S. champion over there, and Logan Scarborough. Both got very close on personal best times as it stands right now. They both like to notch a new personal best in this heat right now.
Logan Scarborough, said it a couple of times, is worth repeating again, though, rejoining the Steel Timber Sports Series.
Warm
this
up your
hot saw
saws.
event is part of that learning curve, a steep part of that learning curve, and he's been doing very well. Posted his best time ever last year to 6.35, and based on the time you saw in that first heat, he's going to have to shave a little more off of that.
Yep. Shear inside the top 4 as it stands now. Scarborough outside. Take down Cassidy, that'd be a good step toward making it back into the top 4 who qualify for the final.
30 seconds.
But the alcohol can mess with it, get real temperamental in atmospheric conditions. So see, once that recoil, then they're going to put that tether on again. It's a throwaway handle, Dave. The tether must be connected to keep that throwaway handle within your zone. Well, that LeBron chalk move there by Cassidy. He's feeling it. Here we go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Logan a little bit behind the gun. Cassidy Shear with trouble at the start of that cut. Oh boy.
Oh.
That is not a lot of real estate. I don't think he cut over the line, but I also don't think Logan Scarborough has 3 complete discs on stand number 2. It was disaster on both of these stands. I think Cassidy's fine in the end. He had a little bit of he had to double pump the clutch at the start of cut number 1.
It's just going to be so unfortunate. I think this is the finals again this year, Dave. He said having such a great day. But Scarborough, the chain can make a curve almost a half-inch wide. You go down 3 times, you've blown out almost a full inch and plus of wood. And we'll see that on the replay, but unfortunate for stand number 2. You're going to have to hide from Scarborough's wife after this one for doing that jinx you did, where we haven't thrown a flag all day right before this heat game. You're in trouble.
Okay, DQ here. Cut the line, incomplete disc. Your cut was good.
my God. Cassidy, small blowout on that. Trouble for both of you athletes. Unfortunately, Scarborough a disqualification. Talk about what it's like going into this final heat of the hot saw.
Yeah, I mean, this is a unique pool. I've never seen a pool so tight before, and usually if you cut clean in the semis, I get through no problem, and the hot saw doesn't even matter. I haven't made any big mistakes today. It's been decent with small mistakes, and it's going to be tight. I mean, I won't be surprised if it comes down to a tie that goes to a tie break.
Well, let's magnify this mistake. We're going to have it on the big screen. Cassidy, if you want to talk us through on the monitor down here, here's your start.
Yeah, so what happened here is that I don't really care about hot saw that much, and this is the third time I've run it this year. So to actually recover like that and make 3 complete cuts is actually like decent, and I'll take it, and I'm not upset.
Good job, great job today, Cassidy. We're going to see you in the finals unofficially tomorrow. I'm thinking we are. Cassidy Shear representing Hayward, Wisconsin. Most likely heading to the finals. And here we go again, Dave. What do you
There's that run with Purple Rain. Cassidy Shear's hot saw just got up, got crooked, back handle over a little bit. Boy, he came really close to getting over that line, though. It takes a lot to get an extra cut in there, and that's what Logan Scarborough is learning right here. It's hard to get 3 good cuts in 6 inches of timber. Getting 4 cuts or 3.5 cuts in is nearly impossible.
Beautiful transition. Beautiful 3 cuts after.
Cassidy Shear's time is 7:19, good enough only for 3rd place right now. And of course, Logan Scarborough with the incomplete cookie and the DQ, that ends his day, his quest to make the championships. Take a look at our overall rolling points tracking here. Shows Alexander Storm on top and Shear in 2nd place. Now that's 7.19. Will that give him enough insurance to make it into the top 4? He's looking good now, but we got a couple of very tough heats coming up. Could be very tough on him.
I know there's so many athletes that still have a shot here to edge their way into this. The points are so tight there, heading down through 6th place. It's anybody's race still here to get in and punch their ticket to tomorrow's final.
And it is an advantage for these athletes that we have that are still out back. It's an advantage to see what happened in heat 1 and 2. They know that they have to go, hey, these guys made a few mistakes. They know exactly how to run the saw to get in the 7 seconds, the 6 seconds, the 5s. There's 4 athletes that are now in the 4-second range. I believe there's only 4 that have accomplished that. But that's an advantage you have of sitting backstage and watching. But again, sometimes you go safe. That's just as dangerous too. You hit that throttle. You want to get that saw into the wood. If you're holding that saw over the log full throttle, you got the chain that's going to kick you up and down. The tailpipe's going to kick you left to right. And so let's bring out the next heat. 3rd heat, Aaron Hovis versus Billy Cornelius. Billy Cornelius, an animal in the hot saw. He's not going to make it in. So he has the luxury of just going for it and putting on a show. Absolutely.
All right, next heat in the hot saw. Aaron Hovis on stand number 1. Going up against Billy Cornelius. Billy sort of fighting for his right to stay out here competing in these U.S. championships. If you finish in the final spot, you get relegated for a prescribed period of time, so he doesn't want to do that. Going to need a heroic performance in the hot saw in order to maybe avoid that.
Both these guys looking for top finishes in the hot saw for very different reasons.
Yeah, yes, true.
And Tommy, both these guys, frankly, are hot saw geeks. Not afraid to say it. They're probably proud to wear that badge.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a couple of fast times. Again, both of these guys with very different motivations. Billy Cornelius trying to stay alive for next season. Aaron Hovis trying to stay alive for the finals.
You see they've got those bands around their waist. That is keeping their jerseys from being sucked into the carburetor. You've seen that happen with the amount of vacuum that can happen.
30 seconds.
Competitor jersey, you can pull into the intake and just slow the saw. Like that measuring technique, all of this. Using his hand as a gauge. Place that saw down exactly where he doesn't have to think about it. He can just reach down, pull it over, and wave it at this log.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Slight advantage, Cornelius to the block, trouble at the transition. Trouble with his motor, it is falling on its face. Sounds like it's starving for fuel. Aaron Hovis not waiting around, 6-second near flat time. Now he's, Aaron Hovis gives the thumbs up to our head judge, Rich Judge. Yeah, it's good, Rich, it's good. It's there. I think Rich is gonna just take a moment and take a look for himself.
Just double check.
Unfortunate break for Billy Cornelius. He absolutely needed to post some big steal points there just to stay alive, just to be able to come back next year. And that saw it was absolutely falling on its face.
Saw a little bit while they're analyzing this disc for Aaron Hovis, and if need be, they can go to the video review. Here's the call.
Both cuts are good.
Man, what a battle for these athletes.
I'd like to get an answer from Billy here. Billy was so fast into the wood. You okay for an interview, bud? Yeah. So fast into the wood. The down cut looked beautiful. I couldn't tell what happened. Yesterday, one of the athletes caught their frame on the up cut. Is that what happened to you?
No, I've been having some carb issues with the saw, and I got a carb kit mailed in here to Milwaukee, and I rebuilt the carb Friday in my trailer out here, and never had any wood to actually test it in, so I kind of got the jets set where I thought they should be, and obviously it wasn't quite right for today. So.
Okay, Billy, we're going to take a look at your cut on the monitor here. It's hot, it's humid out. Tell me, did that affect your saw? Here we go.
It definitely could. I mean, the first cut was pretty good, and then the second, it just kind of ran out of fuel, so probably needed a little more on the high side on the carburetor, and yeah, I just had to let off the pressure all the way to just get the saw to stay running. So pretty disappointed in that, and I usually do pretty well in the hot saw.
Well, Billy, you're one of the fastest in the world into the wood. Your technique is dialed in. Get your saw fixed, buddy. We're going to see you next year. Hey, thank you again for the great interviews. Billy Cornelius, always a good sport here in Milwaukee.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, it's a very tough break for Billy Cornelius, but let's look at this run on stand number 1 from Aaron Hovis. Around a 6-second time. Very thick disc on that second cut. Follows it up with a pretty hefty disc on the third cut. I was laughing up here in the booth, though, because Aaron Hovis gets down. He checks for the line and gives a thumbs up to our head judge. Like, it's okay, Rich, it's there.
Your career, that is just gutsy stuff. That's what we just touched on earlier. You buy a hot saw.
Watch this right here. He goes, yeah, it's okay, Rich.
It's
good. Yeah.
It all checks out.
Yeah,
hey,
you can just stay over there.
Why not? Why not do that? It doesn't cost anything. Aaron Hovis sitting on top with a good time of 5.87. I don't know if that's going to be enough to keep him into the top 4. We have one more heat remaining. Alex Storm in second place overall point show. Alex Storm up in first place. So yeah, it's not looking good for Aaron Hovis. Walk Page really needs to do something spectacular here. He's coming up in our final heat along with Matt Koger, so a lot to look forward to coming up in the hot saw. Our final discipline of the 6 in Pool B action here, trying to qualify for tomorrow's championship final.
Yeah, I'm going over this with Dave right now. He's trying to calculate. He's got fingers and toe math going on. He's trying to see what Walt's got to do to punch his ticket. Well, everybody in this pool has got to go. Everybody. And when Matt Koger comes up, if he comes in and eclipses that leading score, he's going to shift all the points down. It's going to bobble things up even more.
Yeah, this is going to mix everything up, Dave. It is so hard to analyze all these athletes and do this crazy math at the end. That this is just a mirror image of what we saw in Pool A yesterday. Remember, Pool C coming up at 4:30 today. We're going to do this all over again. And then the women national championships at 8 o'clock. So we got a big, big day still ahead, and we're only a third of the way through. Final heat of Pool B. Final heat of the hot saw. Let's bring them out, Walt Page and Matt Koger.
This is it, the final heat of the hot saw. This will wrap up Pool B action here today. Walt Page sitting down there outside the top 4 as it stands right now. Very critical position right here. Going up against, well, the man with the, of course, the giant lead there. Matt Koger, our 7-time world champion.
Matt Koger can almost do no wrong, but he can mess up a lot of things for a lot of people. The placement of Matt Koger and Walt Page is going to absolutely scramble the points at the top. That leaderboard is a
Warm up your saws.
breathing, living document.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's right. It's very much live, to be sure.
NASA-like launch procedure begins. These guys rewind their tether cords. There is no recoil on these saws. It is a one and done throwaway tether
30
cord.
seconds.
They're locking in their throttle, pushing in decompression valves. The very last action, when they get the final call for hands on the wood, will be to reach down, turn on their oiler, or open the valve for their oiler.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, Matt Koger was very close on that start, leaving nothing to chance. Matt Koger pulls a 5:46. Walt Page has disaster. Oh, this is no good.
Not going to go.
No good. What a disastrous ending for Walt Page on stand 1. A little bit of extra flair there from head judge Rich Hallett as he dispenses that flag.
Yeah.
There may be 2 good cuts in there, but that's about it.
Is this good over here? DQ on this stand, incomplete disc. Your cut was good.
For Walt, he had a stellar day up here on the stage, but it all came down to the hot saw in this pool for just about 7 of the athletes.
Well, trouble in the hot saw. Here's that run from Matt Koger, just grazes the edge of the log on the way up to the top, and then just gets automatic with that saw. 3 clean cuts. In contrast with that cut on stand number 1 with Walt Page, he needed absolutely everything, and he was not able to pull it together. Another shift in life. Would you like to can I get you to comment
on that? Yeah, you know, Dave, I've had a lot of fun over the years doing timber sports, and you know, the time's come to move on and do some other things. So, yeah, this is probably my last time here.
Big round of applause for Walt Page. This man is the fastest springboarder in the world, and he said, Dave, I got a beautiful family, I've got a lot of land, I want to go enjoy that. It's a ballsy move, buddy, ending the sport in your prime. One more round of applause for Walt Page. And you're not leaving. You got a good friend back home you got to give a shout out to.
Yeah. Hey, William. Hope you're enjoying, buddy. That's it.
All right, Walt. Go have a beer, buddy. Walt Page. Matt Koger.
Matt Koger really tight on that go, was not waiting around for anything. A little bit heavy on that first disc. Gets him off clean, though, very thin on that third cut. Gets it done, though. Disaster, though, for Walt Page. The pressure, the lights, it can get to you on this stage. You can see every time he blips that throttle, that is like a bucking bronco you are trying to harness with just your bare hands. Did not come together for Walt Page.
Yeah, just I don't like those, but you know, that's
Well, the top time going to be, of course, Matt Koger, the 5:37, takes top points there ahead of Aaron Hovis' good time of 5.87. Personal best for him, Storm, and Bo Quinn right there. Bo Quinn certainly needed it there, and it worked in this case. And Walt Page, kind of a shocker to hear him announce his retirement here. We'll have to process that. We'll sure hate to see him go. He's part of the culture here, that is for sure. But here's the important business of Pool B. Take a look at that. Mark Bo Quinn, Cassidy Shear, Alexander Storm, and Matt Koger are going to move on to the final round, along with Nate Hodges, Dakota Robards, Trevor Beaudry, and Tristan Van Beek. We've got 8 of our 12 set for tomorrow's final in the STIHL Timbersports US Championships. Man, good competition today, so tight, and a lot of surprises, and a big one at the end, hearing about Walt Page.
Yeah, I'm just crushed to see Walt Page leave in that way. I wanted to see him go on a positive note, but the points battle today was undeniable. Points stacked so tight, so many ties that had to be broken. It was one of the tightest days of qualifying that I can ever remember seeing.
Well, if you enjoyed that, we got more on the way to you from here in Milwaukee at about 4:30 Central Time. We will start pool number C. With that, we will gain 4 more athletes in our lineup of 12 who will fight it out for the U.S. Championship tomorrow.